Good morning, students. Now let us continue with our ninth chapter, which is history. So, here in this lesson, you will be learning some of the important incidents happened in our history. Okay. So, who designed the Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi? So, it is a very important landmark in Delhi, we can say, which is Rashtrapati Bhavan. Okay. So, where the president lives. So, this place was designed by Edwin Lutyens. Okay. Which American city is named after Saint Francis of Assisi? It was San Francisco. Okay. What is the real name of the 19th century social worker Swami Vivekananda? His real name, we all know him by the name Swami Vivekananda, but his original name was Narendranath Datta. Okay. What was the sobriquet used for Napoleon Bonaparte? Okay. It was Man of Destiny. Okay. Who stood for the abolition of princely states in India? Sorry, princely states. Okay. It was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. In 1925, who became the first Indian woman to preside over a Congress session? It was Sarojini Naidu. Between 1905 and 1912, which area was carved out from Bengal to form a new province? It was Assam. Okay. Which musician sang the song Raghupati Raghav Rajaram during the Dandi March? It was Pandit Vishnu Digambar Paluskar. Okay. In which state of present day India are the famous ruins of Hampi? It was Karnataka. Who was the first Union Education Minister of Independent India? It was Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad. Which ruler of ancient India is responsible for the spread of Buddhism? It was Ashoka. Okay. Which political leader was the first to speak of the government of the people, for the people, by the people? It was Abraham Lincoln. Okay. What was the name of the dog who traveled to space in a spaceship? Laika. Where is the oldest high court in India? Established in 1862, situated Kolkata. Which state was carved out from Uttar Pradesh on 9 November 2000 to form the 27th state of present India? It was Uttarakhand. Okay. Now let us see some economic and political terms. So these are all the terms. The following terms you should, or everybody in this country should know. Okay. Autocracy. Autocracy means a form of government where unlimited power is held by one single individual. That is, in India we are democracy. Okay. Opposite of democracy is autocracy. So what is democracy first of all? What is democracy means, we can say the power is in the hands of the people. Okay, we are that is, we have all the power to represent and representative on behalf of us to the legislative assembly, and also if you don't like them in the next election, you can remove them and you can place another person in that position. Okay, so we say democracy is, in democracy people have the power more than the representatives, but in autocracy it is just opposite, only one man will be having more power. If we want example, means we can take Hitler. Okay, who was leading Germany. Okay, who had all the powers in his hands. Okay, whatever he says only will be applicable, or will be fulfilled. Okay, whatever he says it will be done. So all the powers was lying by his hands only. But now it's not like that. Most in this world, most of the countries have changed into democracy. Okay. So then bill. The name of the proposed legislation entered into a house or houses of parliament to be debated upon for approval. If approved at all stages, it then becomes an act, and thus a law. What is a bill? That means, if we want to make any changes in any law which is in the constitution, what they'll do means, the present government will propose a bill in the assembly, okay, in the legislation, and it should be accepted by more than half of the sitting members of parliament. Okay, that is, if you have 542 members, let's say, okay, then it should be accepted by somewhat near 300 members. If they accept it, then the law will be implemented, or it becomes an act, or it will become a law from that minute on. Okay, so what is a bill? They'll propose the changes or the new law in the legislative assembly or parliament, we can say. And if more than half of the sitting members are accepting it, then it becomes an act or law. It can be anything, okay, about anything it can be. But if if more than half of them accepts it, then it will become a law. Okay. Bond, a certificate reflecting a firm's promise to pay the holder a periodic interest payment until the date of maturity and fixed sum of money on the designated maturity date. So what is a bond means? We have policy, or in common language we call it as policy. See, if you take LIC's policy, you should pay some amount as premium every month, and after a particular year, that is after 10 years or 20 years, the premium will be matured. That is, the sum will be more, and they'll return you the money more than what you have paid. That is, if you have paid, suppose let's take 10 lakhs, they'll be providing you 15 lakhs. That is, they'll be providing you 5 lakhs more as your interest what you have paid. Okay, so that is called as bond. Brain drain, it happens when talented people of a country go and settle down in another country for development, better employment opportunities. So this brain drain actually is very common in India, because most of the well educated people, they go to another country for a good job, and that is for good employment and good salary package, we can say. Okay, so this should not actually happen, but it happens more often in India. Budget, it is an annual estimate of income and expenditure of a country. What is a budget? You can frequently hear the budget has been proposed in the parliament or in the legislative assembly of Tamil Nadu. Like that, you can hear many times. Okay, what is a budget means? What will be the annual income and the expenditure of a country or a state? They'll be just calculating it approximately, and they'll be submitting it. That is, they'll be getting the approval of the government. That is, all the members of the parliament or legislative assembly. Okay, casting vote, it is the deciding vote of presiding officer when there is a tie. Okay, casting vote means it is the deciding vote of the presiding officer when there is a tie. If two members have same number of votes, that is, let us take, if in one province you have 1001 votes, let us take, okay, 1001 people are eligible to vote. Then if that is, if two candidates have same number of votes, that is 500 votes and 500 votes, then that last vote will be there, right? The 1001th vote, that will decide who will be the officer. So that is, that vote will be called as casting vote. Okay, coalition, an arrangement in which two or more political parties join hands to form the government. That is, in every state this is common. Okay, if one single party does not have the majority, then they'll join hands with the other parties who have won the election, and they'll form a government. That will be called as coalition government. Okay, consumers, people whose wants are satisfied by consuming a good or a service. Consumers, we are all consumers, we all consume something. Okay, that is, only when we eat food, that doesn't mean we are consuming food. Everything, you are buying a fan means you are a consumer. Whatever you are buying or whatever service you are getting, you are a consumer. Okay, Depression. It is the sustained long term downturn in economic activity in one or more economies. Depression means it is not the about the feeling, but it's about economy. That is when you have no money, okay, and um, that is long term downturn means your money will be decreasing, okay, your economic activities will be decreasing one or more times, then it will be called as depression. Dumping. It is the act of selling goods abroad at a place that is less than the charge in the domestic market or less than the cost of production. It often harms the domestic industry of the importing country. Dumping means if you create an good for 30 rupees, and if you are selling it in the other countries for 28 rupees, then you have 2 rupees loss. That is, you are selling a good to the other country with a loss, then it will be called as a dumping. Okay, although you will get 35 in the domestic market, but if you are selling it for 28 in the other countries, domestic market means the market which is available in their own country, that will be called as domestic market. If you get 35 rupees also, if you are selling for 28 rupees what the good you have made to other country, then that will be called as dumping. Franchise. It is a right to vote, especially at the parliamentary election. Franchise means citizen of India who is more than the age of 18 are eligible to vote. Okay, so that right to vote, we say we have right to vote. Okay, so that right to vote, especially when you vote in parliamentary elections, it will be called as franchise. Okay, free trade. It is a condition of international trade where nations do not impose customs duties or other taxes on the import of goods from their countries. Free trade means, see, now if you want to export a good from India to some other country, you have to pay some exporting tax. Okay, then only your good will be carried there and they'll be sold out. Okay, but some countries will have a free trade method, that is you no need to pay any money to transport your good from to the other country. Also, when you need to import something, that is from other country you are going to buy something, means you have to pay good. If that country has a free trade, then you don't need to pay any money to bring that good from that country to India. Okay, that is called free trade. Ghero. Ghero means it is a method of harassing the employer by his employees by confining the employer to a definite place like his or his office for an indefinite period of time. Ghero means, see, harassment means it means many, it has many meanings. Okay, if they don't want you to be promoted, or they'll do, see, employee means they have competitions between them, so they don't want other people to surpass them. For that, what they'll do, they'll try to bring them down, that is they'll do all cheating methods. So that will be called as gerao. Incentives. Factors that motivate and influence the behavior of households and business. Prices, profits, and losses acts as incentives for participants to take action in the market of economy. So, incentive means the factors which motivate and influence the behavior of households. That will be called as intensives. Okay, labor union. So, all the labor, see, every factory may have a labor union. What they'll do means they'll select some few employees who are well matured enough and who are experienced enough to talk behalf of them, that is they'll be talking behalf of all the employees. Okay, whatever needed, whatever they want, they'll be speaking it to the management. They'll be called as labor union. Okay, laissez-faire means it is a doctrine that says government interference, especially in business, should be kept in minimum. Okay, this is a type of law. Okay, it is a doctrine that says government interference in business should be less. Okay, lockout. It is when an employee chooses a firm or factory in order to make this striking employees agree to the terms of settlement. See, if there is a factory, then there will be always a strike. Okay, For some or the other reasons, the employees may strike. So what they'll do means the company will offer some of the good needies to them. That is, will give you bonuses. Okay, for the festival like that they'll say, and they'll stop the strike there itself. So that is called as lockout. Okay. Loyalty. It is a payment for a certain kind of ownership or privilege, such as payment made to the author of a book by the publisher. See, royalty means, see, if you are writing a book, okay, and you don't have to publish it. Many organizations are there who publish books. So what they'll do means they'll take your book and they'll publish it. And they'll produce more number of copies and they'll publish it. And what they'll do means, you only wrote the book, right? So hard work was yours, only they spent money on it. So what they'll do means they'll give a certain amount of share to the writer, that is you. Okay, that is 30%, like that they'll give you. So when you gain money through your hard work, okay, so that will be called as royalty. Okay.